Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and it's 92 degrees. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. It's hot, and it's one of the things. I'm feeling good now. There's no big deal. I'm eating um, full meals or solid meals. Eating like I used to. Everything's good. Um, and Now I'm trying to evaluate. This is into June, and I've got about a month, and I'm going to be heading to Sturgis. And I'm thinking, man, if it's hot like this, man, I don't know if I can handle it. Where I was talking about getting old. One of the things I go into see the doctor here in a few more days, and but I'm waiting. Really, I'm just kind of putting it to the test. Uh, I think what's going on is I'm getting old, and as you get old, things change. Uh, and I say this happened started last year, and so I've been trying to figure out what's going on, and the doctors can't figure out anything and all this. And I asked them if I was getting old. They don't, and I don't know. I think maybe people might be scared of getting old. For me, I mean, this reality. I mean, I know I was young, and when I was young, I knew I was young, and I've been pretty active. I've done a lot of things, and uh, Vietnam was one of the things that taught me, that you're alive. And came back. I was drinking heavy and didn't do drugs, but I did chasing wild women, sleeping maybe 2 hours a day. I mean, I was messed up. And then a week before I turned 21, I figured out that I just may live. I mean, it was hard to believe you could live through Vietnam. And with enough drinking, I finally figured out that I just might live. So that's when I said I better start taking care of myself. So now taking care of myself means don't do all the crazy stuff that I was doing. Crazy stuff in the way of drinking, not sleeping, not taking care of myself, um, uh, not being prosper. You have to be prosper. You have to do things. And as I did things, my goal wasn't just to, you know, get a job and then just sit doing this job, just waiting until I get old and die. That's not what I was looking forward to. I thought if I already lived through Vietnam, maybe I need to do something with my life. And I did. I've done a lot with my life. And I say, I've been really active. But one of the fun things, one thing I learned in New York, um, I was told that I raised my voice, and I could lose my job by raising my voice. And, so that's kind of went up over my head. I couldn't figure out, okay, um, no, when I was young, I've had many people raise their voice at me. Uh, they raise their voice a lot. And I say, I've owned businesses, and I've had to instruct people how to do the work. Sometimes it got to the point where I had to raise my voice. And raising the voice has nothing to do with you're going to lose your job. And, with full explanation, I guess you can't raise your voice. Now that's one of the reasons why the what do you call them, the uh, millennium people. That's why they're not worth a damn for workers. They don't know how to work, and that's because if you raise your voice, you might scare them or offend them or do something like that. And I tell you, when I raise my voice, that tells you did something wrong, not me. you know. So, and I always raise my voice just before I get violent. Violent. yeah. The same thing was brought to my attention in New York. You can't be violent. Now I know. Okay, these younger people, they're all a bunch of wusses. You you can't you can't raise your voice, and you sure can't use violence. I mean, these youngins got problems, real problems. That explains why they're not working. You see, all the old people are, doing a lot of the work because the young people, they don't have what it takes to have a job. They can't even take a tongue lashing, And then, like I say, depending on what kind of work it is and what's the problem is, sometimes I'll use force to make you do what you have to do. And, so these are things that has to be done. And people and our society is getting to be wusses. And I think that's what's happening to the young kids. That's why when I was talking about handling a bully, well, that sometimes you raise your voice to handle a bully, and sometimes you just use violence. yeah. So I guess you can't use either one when you're handling a bully. So I don't know how you handle a bully. Oh yeah, I do. Well, just report them. And then if they hit you, well then feel good because both of you will be thrown out of school. You can't even defend yourself. They don't even teach you self-defense. So this is bad. And so if you can't defend yourself and you can't raise your voice and you can't use violence, you're a wuss. And believe me, you can't go with me. The places that I go, the things that I do, sometimes we get people raise their voices at us, and sometimes violence is needed. And if you can't handle those, you better stay way away from me. And but that's one of the things that kind of struck me kind of funny is, don't raise your voice. You're putting me on. I wonder what kind of parents they are. I raised my voice to my kids. There was times I used violence. And I guess these youngins don't get that from parents. So maybe parents don't know how to parent. So that's why they're getting a job, and now they're looking for you to be a parent to them because they didn't have any parenting skills used on them. So now they need you to do all this stuff. I don't know. It's kind of strange. But anyway, that's just something I thought I better share. And one thing I think was funny when she said you can't raise your voice, and if you are in a position where everybody is, I don't know what you call it, timid, and everybody's, they don't raise their voices, they stay like that, that's a sign of a sick society. When something like that is enough to upset people, and it's just, I can see how there's going to be a problem. And as a society, if raising the voice and violence is something we can't handle, we're going to lose our society. I'll tell you that now. These illegals crossing over, they can cross over, raise their voice, pull out a knife, pull out a gun, and now we're going to use violence. Oh, you know what I mean? So you all better wake up. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.